Yeah, I know, sorry.
He's a character.
And then a week later. They would just.
That's the following week.
Weekend. You know, old history was out of my head. I'm gonna reread them.
Are we ready? It's safe for them.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna call public hearing. City Council public hearing of September 17th to order. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Smith,
Here.
Deborah Adams,
Here.
Aaron Hansen,
Here.
Casey Kinsman is absent. Mike Mickelson is absent. Wendy Rainey. Here. Kathy Sherman. Here. Dave Zastro.
Here.
That's a form of council.
Okay, thank you. So we're here to have a public hearing. For the next little bit before the regular council meeting, and the public hearing is on ordinance 1234. An ordinance of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, amending Cordova Municipal Code 3.12.110 contracts. To expressly require collective bargaining agreements to be approved by city council via resolution. So, does anyone want to comment on the ordinance 1234 about collective bargaining agreements? That's the topic we're hearing. Super sexy, super sensational. There are no comments. Some more staff. We recess for a few minutes.
Okay. That's good.
I just like
the fact that it's ordinance 1234.
I like the number.
Speaks now.
We recess till 5 hours.
Sure.
Okay, we'll recess till 6:55.
Oh my goodness. Does anybody else feel sure?
Now these chairs are the low riders.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
I love that.
These there.
Yes, 10K for this menu. A few years ago. But I don't know, I would prefer wireless. I don't know if these can be wireless.
I was just curious.
Well, Signy, take notes. Talking to him. Signy will talk to the guy that does. Exactly. That's easy.
Yeah, that was the one we just. But there's a lot of. Yeah.
Sure. All the people.
Yeah.
Recipe in there.
I figures, I guess.
Yeah, so.
Maybe we should come back into session. Let's move back to order. Just to see if there's anybody in the audience who wants to comment on ordinance 1234. This is a public hearing. So that we can take comments on a resolution, I'm sorry, an ordinance amending code to expressly require collective bargaining agreements to be approved by city council. Here, resolution. Open the comments. I think it's rushing.
It's good since they're not on. No. Is he texting anyone? Like he's having trouble? Maybe he didn't know. I said, well, text him, it's supposed to go. You done with Derek? No.
Yeah, so we can adjourn the public hearing. Okay. Adjourn the public hearing.
Thank you.
That's done.
Fix him, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, messed up.
Yeah.
You messed it up.
Like is that over the other?
I know, that's okay. I know.
That would be true. I was just.
There's other. Did he really think?
I do all.
Just applied to the road again. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else came in after he did it with the same issue. Because it was a few years ago when they separated everything. And it was a lot. So there's some people who had a mortgage on their house and then they have to pay their own. So that's really just.
Yeah. No, it's we're gonna be fun next.
Yeah, all of October, is that right?
Most of it, yeah, but, and so I've already. We paid, but. Technically, it's like 7:30, so. Okay. 7 straight up, so I'm gonna call the regular city council meeting to order about September 17th. And will you join me for the? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll roll.
Keep reaching for the mic. Mayor Smith,
Here.
Deborah Adams, here, Aaron Hanson,
Here.
Casey Kinsman is absent. Mike Mickelson is absent. Wendy Rainey,
Here.
Kathy Sherman,
Here.
and Dave Zastro.
Here.
As a form of council.
So we've got the regular agenda in front of us. Are there any amendments to the agenda as presented? Hearing no objection, we'll consider it approved. Disclosures of conflicts of interest and ex parte communication.
Mayor, I've partaken communication with GMI back there regarding the letter and their correspondence chief, but not really any more information that's in that letter. So, okay.
Just closing that and. I guess that's the cure, right, is just. Just closing it. and
Yes.
Making it
And
public,
it's not any action that,
right, we're not
Council's
taking
taking.
action. Okay, I wasn't sure, so I couldn't sure if I saw a hand earlier. Any other conflicts of interest, expertise? Communications by and petitions from visitors, we don't have any guest speakers. Audience comments regarding agenda items. If there's anyone in the audience who wants to come up and comment on an item that's on tonight's agenda, this is the moment.
Okay, well, I hate doing this, but it's not the first time I haven't been able to afford to pay my property taxes.
Can you just state your name and address? for
Oh,
the record?
Joy Landerloos, 501 4th Street. But the last 10 years, it has been easier with the senior exemption. And I didn't get the letter. And I was watching mail for a senior friend that was out holidaying with her family. And which is why I know that the letter wasn't marked. There was no date sensitive on it because anytime I'm watching somebody's mail and I see a date sensitive or a mark of importance, I open it. I take a picture and I mail it to the person or send a picture to the person I'm watching their mail for. So I did come in to the office December 2024 to pay my property tax because I had missed the October and November deadline. You've got penalties and you've got interest, which is, I guess, during the time that these forms were already made up and maybe even in the mail. So, but I paid at the front desk and then the letter here came to me in March, which is clearly marked. And that was for, I didn't realize in December that I hadn't paid my taxes in full because they had split the tax bill that year. So that's what this little. I'm just showing you that I got a letter in March, so it says time sensitive, it says payment due, which then I came into the office in March to pay that. And nobody again said anything about your senior exemption form, or there was never a mention of it. So as soon as I got my tax bill, I came in to see Susan immediately. And, I talked to her assistant, I wanted to know how many seniors had not filled out their forms, and was there anything I could do? Well, she did look that I wasn't on the e-news, so she signed me up for that, the city e-news, which I wasn't on. Most seniors aren't very computer savvy. And so, because Susan addressed, how would you like us to let you know? Well, for sure, if you send something out in December when most seniors aren't even in town, it would have been nice to have a date or a time sensitive stamp on the letter. Something that clarified that this is important, like this says clearly, you're behind, a payment is due. And like I said, it brought me to the office a second time, because I clearly owed another $500. So. I guess I'm saying it's not the first time I've had a hard time paying my property taxes, and I just wish I could have my senior exemption. at least a half a dozen or more seniors have been granted their senior exemption. And I guess I would like that too. And that's. Yeah. Thank you. And now I think I'm gonna go to the concert.
Our audience participation, who will want to make comments on agenda items. So come forward.
Would you say on any item?
Items that are on the agenda. There is a place, for the end of the meeting for people to come up and comment on anything. Yeah. Thanks. So chairpersons and representatives of boards and commissions. I think this is all staff in the audience, see, those folks, approval of consent calendar.
Okay. Some minutes in there, I'll take the roll on the consent calendar. Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Aaron Hansen,
Yes.
Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Dave Zastro.
Yes.
The consent calendar is approved.
Okay, we approved minutes, we have no bids, proposals of contracts, we have reports of officers. So I do have I did put in a written mayor's report this time, I'm happy to answer any questions, It's. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
Can you just explain the challenge grant? 'Cause, like, I didn't really understand
Sure,
exactly what it
sure.
was, so it might be great for everybody to.
Yeah, so that Cordova Community Foundation is interested in supporting the campaign, the fundraising campaign for Skaters Cabin. And so what we talked about was making some funding available in 2026 in the form of a challenge grant. So if the way it would work is we would offer making a contribution of a certain dollar amount and, or I should say, we would issue a challenge grant and say that we would match every dollar up to a certain amount that we're willing to grant. So if you get, I'm just gonna use 15,000 as the example, at this point, but if the campaign raises 15,000 and we contribute 15,000, if the campaign raises 9,500, then we contribute 9,500. So we will match up to what, we will match what the campaign raises up to 15,000, whatever the final amount is. Excited to be in a position where we can start increasing our contributions in the community.
Harrison?
Yeah.
Just some thoughts on the item associated with the Department of Transportation and the lack of support of personnel for their operations crew. Have you had discussions about what their particular problems are with filling position? I've heard some thoughts on that, but have you had any conversations with?
I haven't, I mean, anecdotally, it seems to be about, that the state isn't offering pension or defined benefits for employees, and I did contact AML, there is some legislation that I think is gonna be introduced in this next session to modify that, but
That's what
it's not in place yet.
yeah, it's getting critical, especially with our essential services. We have to have at least one or two state employees at the airport every time a flight comes in.
Just one, yeah. Who knows?
Well, at least one. I don't know that there has to be two, but I'm sure one. And it's not like the street guys could jump in and clear the runway. It's a very technical thing. The truck like measures they have to go through so much training to do that. I did I'm trying to remember if it was Robbie who told me. But I do believe that they are working on trying to get other DOT people running through, especially airport, maybe so. Either way, either somebody can do the airport or somebody who can just plow. To try to help out this winter, they're trying to do some kind of rotational thing with other DOT employees, because there, there are rules.
It occurs to me that if somebody could be sick or some kind of personal emergency and they're gone, yeah.
You bring up a concern for me is that it also impacts our Coast Guard. Because we need to have access to the hospital. And on the highway and the airport. In order to maintain, it's a certain level, minimum level for our Coast Guard as well. So it's not just essential service, but also essential emergency services that are impacted.
I was just gonna suggest, Mayor Smith, that there's no reason we can't contact our representatives now with these kind of concerns that we're facing. Let's get it on the record so that they know about it. I'm pretty sure they do, but we can put it on record.
Yeah. Like a little noise, like,
Mhm.
That's.
Another question I had on the report, the community leader roundtable that you had mentioned. So that was something that did exist at one point before we went into our COVID year. Okay. And
Different mayors have done things differently. I know Mayor Cash used to have a brown bag, like a lunch brown bag, and invite members of boards and commissions to come meet up and share information.
That's what
updates.
Blaze did also.
And like that.
And Ted did that too.
really would support that.
And this, I think Clay said they did it twice a year.
Yeah. But it's pretty necessary.
So we can go on to the city manager's reports.
Just spending a lot of time going over budget, help working with some of the staff. And with Cheryl a lot, just figuring it all out. That has been a pretty big part of my couple weeks since we last met. Kevin is gonna give some public comment on the GCI public notice, which was also in there, and I think that's great. It should be required for them to remove their dead infrastructure right of ways. Also Sam is here, she can give a quick little update. I don't think we need to instead talk about the skaters camp because the demo is done. I think driven by there. Yeah, we'll let Sam go and then I can answer questions if anybody has any.
Hey, everybody.
So far away.
So, the update for the pool is that we did locate the leak and had eyes on it, so it made me sleep a little bit better. That night, so, going into it, we've, got an estimate from Peterson's. To cut into the pool, super scary, but not, they gave us some, parameters, Renosis did on how to do it. So we sent those over to Peterson's, so they know, what to do to open up the pool. They historically fixed the pool before when we had plumbing issues in the same area. So I'm confident, and they are too, that they can get this done. It's the side wall of the pool. So hopefully it's not any of the bottom of it. So before they cut into the bottom, so it's hopefully just that side and maybe some concrete on the top. Once that is finished and they replace the plumbing in there, Renosis, we signed a contract with them to come back in, tech to come back in and sew it back up, weld it, PVC weld it back up and they're gonna hold our warranty, our original warranty for it, so we are gonna have the cost of both of those things, but, I think Peterson's estimate was reasonable and, you know, they're estimates. But, I'm very excited to move forward with that, so still no timeline, but at least we know.
We should have a timeline soon.
Soon, hopefully soon, we're just gonna see when Peterson's can, when they get done, and then I do know that, Renosis is booking out later in the year right now, for their service tax, so, the other complication to this is we have about 15 lifeguards that are, losing their certifications, over this time. So we are gonna have to run some lifeguarding classes, as soon as we hit the ground. I've kept my certification and Logan has too. I did mine in Yakutat earlier this year to renew it. I try to go out to remote locations and try to teach, and while I was there, I got recertified. So, and so I've tried to stay up on all of that. So when we are ready to get up and running, we can run some classes. Yeah, awesome. Any questions about it?
You have to, that's, it's a big step forward.
It is, you know, very exciting.
And do you think that this is the only
We're gonna say yes,
We're gonna say yes,
but
I mean, yeah, yes. Yes, it is.
What-
Good answer.
Yes, it is. It was good to, I know, not good to see it, but good to know, like, we knew what location it was in, it felt really good to actually see it on a screen. Very exciting. Instead of blindly kind of going. And skaters is down. Seen it. I think Wilson's did a great job doing that, he put it in, while he was doing some other jobs, and it was, you know, they had some comments that when they didn't start doing it, it crumbled, so, it was needed, and now we're just on to the next step, so you're gonna hear a lot from us about skaters, and just getting plans in place for funding for it, so I'm really excited about getting it back up and running again.
Any other comments or questions for the management? Everyone?
I guess the other important thing is the budget work schedule. We're trying to keep it on Wednesdays so that we are not spending multiple days in a week here. We'll do the best we can to maintain that. And it gets a little sensitive on that 29th and 5th, so we'll just have to see how it goes once we start. Me and Cheryl and I are able to meet with staff and we kind of get everything in one spreadsheet and get a bottom line number, we'll have a better idea of what that's gonna be. So,
Mayor Smith, can I just ask about filling these positions? No nibbles or anybody expressing any interest in?
well, the firefighter medic too, I think we have extended an offer for the second position today. So other than that, Kayleen said this morning there was a chief of police application. I don't know if she's vetted that out or where that's at, but other than that, there has not been.
Are other towns like us in similar positions that they can't fill these kinds of?
Yeah, I think finance directors and public safety officers are common needs across, which is kind of why the whole 2-week 2-on came about, and yeah, even firefighter and medics, I think we're pretty lucky to have been able to at least get one and extend another. So it's all across the board.
I know that in the past, for certain things, the city has used a headhunter firm, which is not cheap. But for the finance director.
Yeah. We should have it during the budget.
Right.
See where we're at.
But I know that one of the finance officer in the school district work remotely as well. That might be something
It's being flown as a hybrid remote position right now.
Everybody tell their friends who live far and wide. That might be how you get someone.
Any questions for the manager? Thanks, and we can move on to the city clerk's reports.
I followed suit and did a written report this time,
That's very nice.
so I can answer any questions on that. If there are any.
No, but thank you for all that marijuana information. Yeah,
Thank you for what?
all the marijuana
Oh,
information.
First thing you're here.
I didn't hear that.
Slipping you some gums.
But like,
Yeah.
I think it's just a general thought. As you say, there's a lot still to discover about annexation or borough formation. You're talking about costs. I'm assuming that's attorney time and staff time.
I think it's going to be attorney time. And then once it gets going, I think there's a ton of staff time in as far as public meetings and. I don't know if you even did we have a consultant ever to do the application or the attorneys did it? I wasn't here when we did the last annexation.
Yeah, there's a lot to even just understand. It takes even on our side, because neither one of us were here and. I mean, we went through the whole borough discussion.
Twice, right?
Yeah, twice.
Recently.
The one was
In 20
recent.
years.
The one was with life, so it was.
Yeah, that was the recent one.
The conclusion, feasible, not feasible.
The time not feasible.
That was to move with Yakta?
Correct.
Joining, not on their own.
Yes.
Well,
No,
Girdwood.
there Girdwood, there was one in there, Girdwood.
Oh, maybe it was Girdwood. Yakutat did form their own borough, so. I think-
Yeah,
I think it was-
the first one involved considering being with Yakutat. The second one, I think, was Girdwood.
So we haven't assessed just forming our own like Architect.
No, and that was my basic question to local boundary commission, which I'm surprised I haven't heard back from anybody there yet. But it was like. How do you pick between one or the other, or all these, city, they're called unified home rule boroughs. Anchorage is. Wrangell. Petersburg. And yeah, not Kenai, I mean, Kenai's a borough, but it's got multiple cities in it, I'm just talking about a city that becomes a borough. I think Haynes might be. But I thought there were rules when we researched borough. That, it had to be about, like-minded or like financially cities that would work well together, complement each other. But I don't understand how just a city becoming a borough meets that criteria for the state for forming a borough. But it's happened multiple times over, so obviously there's other things they consider. Not just a land grab, which I think people think it is times. That seems like what Yakutat did, right? Took everything that they could up and.
They came pretty far.
And
Yes.
good for them. And the state, the founding fathers of our state, right, said should be formed boroughs. And nobody's pushed it. They've had. Somewhat they've tried to push it, and then other administrations have fallen off of it, and they don't care anymore, and. It just seemed, I don't know. What that local boundary commission does, a lot of annexations or. Even the other way, some cities dissolve. They handle that too.
We can reach back out to them and. see
Yes, I will.
If we can get some answers on some of those questions. Yeah, I do think though that it has to be a budgeted item. We cannot start that process now. I'm talking to lawyers.
Right.
Just throw that out there.
Or questions or comments for the clerk's report? Yeah, move on to correspondence. Got a few items in the correspondence section this time, and happy to, yeah, entertain questions about these items. Just note that we do have a provision at the end of the agenda for executive session. I think this and that. Useful.
There's nothing that would be a useful place to discuss one of those thoughts.
Well, yeah, so when we get there, we can move down. Okay. Right, and let's move on to ordinances and resolutions. So. We've got ordinance 1, 2, 3, 4 on the agenda, and I would entertain a motion. Thanks, yes.
I move an ordinance of council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, amending CMC Cordova Municipal Code 3.12.110 contracts to expressly require collective bargaining agreements be approved by city council via resolution.
I'll second. So moved by Thurman and seconded by Randy and Councilmember Sherman.
Sure, we've discussed this now a couple times, but this is an item I know that's been on the pending agenda list for city council for many years, just to have a participation level for approving the CBA by city council. Most of negotiations for the CBA with council and the manager are done in executive session, and this just gives us an opportunity to pass a resolution approving it in a public session.
Councilmember Randy, what she said. Excellent. Any other council members you'd like to comment?
Yes, the only question I would have is the reason not to have a resolution in a, they have this public. I don't
No.
really understand this process, so that's.
Oh, sure, it's been a public document at all times anyway. So,
So
The CBA is a public document.
so this is essentially just a formality.
yes.
Yeah, it's approving, that city council approves that. Was negotiated.
Okay, so this is the second reading, so I think the clerk is going to take a roll call.
Correct. On the adoption of ordinance 1, 2, 3, 4, Aaron Hanson,
Yes.
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Dave Zastro,
Yes,
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
and Kathy Sherman.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the next item is resolution 09-25-25. Motion.
Mayor Smith.
Yes.
I move resolution 09-25-25, a resolution of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, inviting Royal Cap to support the community in creating new housing opportunities.
Second.
So moved by Sherman and seconded by Adams and Councilmember Sherman. Sure, we had a great work session with Rural Cap, and I don't know about everybody else, but I learned tons. And I think this is just an opportunity that we've been missing, and so I'm anxious to get on board and get in line. And hopefully in the coming years, we'll be ready to support the community with that overall. I have, since our work session, I did speak with a friend in Seward where they are creating one of the housing units, and he said it's been very successful so far, and I'm anxious to go see it again, but anyway, so I think it's a great opportunity, but and the challenge of building. Councilmember Adams?
I was impressed and intrigued by the whole presentation, from start to finish and how it's a collaborative effort. And I think we would not only just bring housing, but also bring our community together in a way that nothing else has ever done. It's exciting.
That's from other council members?
I guess my question would be, when we're supporting the community, creating new housing and like starting inviting rural cap to support this, what is that? What are we agreeing to?
I mean, my understanding is that we invite them to work with us and then we come together with how we're gonna move forward or not. I mean, we're not committing ourselves to anything financially or anything like that. We're investigating the opportunities that exist through them and that we can work with through them. But that's all we're doing at this point, is just opening that door so that we can talk at a level of, you know, we're interested, we want to understand, and here's what we got, what do you got?
Getting at
Big
it.
thing is this, yeah, well, they have a self-help program where they work with between 6 and 12 households. And it's all based on sweat equity, so households have to apply to be accepted into this program. They do a credit check, and if you get accepted, you are required to put in 37 hours a week to help build a home. And all the participants work together, nobody moves in until all the homes are finished. And Rural Cap arranges the financing, and they manage the grant program, and they collectively buy the supplies, so they get some economy of scale out of the purchase. And they bring in a van with tools and training, and so, but they don't wanna come into a community if they're not invited. And so this is us saying, yes, please. And they also talked about how they've got programs going now in Seward and Kodiak, but they think, they want to be ready to submit a new application at the end of 2026 for 2027 money. And so if we want to be part of that for 2027, we need to get in the pipeline. They work with them now.
And they have
They're
other
also-
programs too.
Yeah, I did skim over some and just looking at the criteria that is required to meet like the self-help, and it seems interesting. It's a very small bill to fit for the applicants.
Yeah, it's,
Very,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, Kodiak has more access than here as far as. So I think that there would be challenges there. I'd be more than, I think that we should investigate, but it just, it looked like it was gonna support a very narrow group.
It sounded to me like they were interested in like with Kodiak, the city actually. Like, I don't know if they did it cheaply or if they did a straight outright donation, gave land. Well, P and Z just looked at our land availability, and I would watch that meeting, and there's not a whole lot of, you know, viable areas, because World Cap did say they don't want to just come into a chunk of land, it has to be ready to build. So, you know, I think the question for the city is, how can we help? We invite them in and see how we can help, but I don't know that the city has a chunk of land that will work for that project. I think, you know, steering them maybe towards the university land and that project might be a better angle, but yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to invite them in. I just, question whether the city actually could be involved with anything further with it, or if it's gonna have to be an independent action with families.
So. Any further comments? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Motion passes. Okay. We don't have unfinished business, that takes us to the pending agenda. The CIP list calendar and. Need for. Someone for the historic preservation. Commission. But yeah, so pending agenda. It's on page 34.
Probably next month is when I'll advertise all the upcoming vacancies that on boards and commissions, they all term out at the end of November. We make appointments in December, so I'll start advertising for that. I actually had somebody ask me for an application already, so. Telling people about that, everybody who sits on those boards and commissions, they're not automatically, they don't get their seat again. You know, anybody can apply at any time.
Else, both want to add to the pending agenda? I think we have a lot. Okay, so audience participation. If there's anyone in the audience who wants to come comment on anything? With regard to city business? Yeah.
Everybody, Stephen Phillips, 100 Gandil, Fire Chief, Porter Launch Fire Department. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update before our actual quarterly report comes out. Call volume's down, knock on wood. Everyone's kind of reeling from a very crazy hectic summer, so it's nice to see things going back to normal. So I reported the last time the engine 14 was good to go and everything, and it decided not to be good to go anymore, so we're dealing with that. We had a tire blowout while doing routine driving. No one was injured, no damage was done to the vehicle. City shop is working on getting us tires. I think we're ending their arrival in great shape of them. But for now, that's out of service. That does drop us one apparatus. We still have tanker 9 located in the fire hall down below us. So we still have plenty of response capabilities. But as soon as we get tires on that engine, we'll be back to full service with our apparatus. Firefighter 1 is starting in October, so that's gonna be a major undertaking for our members who aren't firefighter 1 certified, as well as our certified members who have to instruct them. But with that, public relations in October is our primary goal, because that's Fire Awareness Month. So we're gonna do an open house at the fire hall. And I welcome you all to join us, as well as visiting the schools as we usually do in October. And then to end on a high note, we applied for a grant with the state of Alaska for emergency services extrication tools. And we were selected for that grant. So for those of you who don't know, we have Hurst Power Pack system, which is a portable hydraulic power generator that can power 2 hydraulic tools at a time. And that stuff is from 1960, and it takes about 6 people to operate. We recently did a extrication drill where we tried to remove a dummy from a car. It took us 2.5 hours and we weren't successful. So getting these new tools that can be operated by a single firefighter or medic for that matter, huge for us. So I'm excited to see what we got to do to get those actually delivered. But this was one of those grants that no money is actually exchanged. They deliver the products to us. And we're getting a full suite of Comalto tools, which we were looking at purchasing. And when we went to get a quote for, was about 100 grand. So wow, this is a pretty huge deal for all of us. But with that, we're continuing to work closely with Sam to make sure things taken care of for the emergency services side. City Shop's been doing great for us. And, don't have anything else to report. I'll have a bigger report when the quarter ends. So, thank you.
Congratulations on the funding.
Thank you.
Audience participation, anyone? So then we can go to council comments. Councilmember Sherman. Studiously avoiding eye contact.
Sorry.
No. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have anything specific. That's great news from the fire department. There is plenty out there when you can find it, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Councilmember Grady.
Yeah, thanks to Stephen and the fire department and who all worked on that grant. That's amazing news. I appreciate that greatly. Thanks to Sam for following through on Skater's Cabin and getting the first part of that process done and progress on the pool. I not enjoy my quote in the paper, but that's okay. That wasn't you. But I love all ice worms, put that on the record. Ice worm swimmers are my favorite people.
It's on the record.
It's on the record. And thank you, Susan, for all that marijuana background information. I appreciate that's a lot of work putting that stuff together, so.
Councilmember Adams.
Ditto, congrats to the fire department and, you, Sam, and I'm waiting with bated breath to be able to get back in the pool. I know it'll be a while though, so, and my concern is winter's coming. And we need plows. I hope there's some sort of resolution with the DOT probably. And keeping the airport open, keeping the road open. The road plowed to the hospital. All of those things that are essential for living here. So, hoping there are people who are interested in working here.
Interesting. Thanks to all staff. For all the information. That you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to the staff, all the reports, even Susan, it's fantastic having these report and leaving links in your report for more information.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh.
Obviously.
Is that a ploy?
Obviously, when we have a lot of vacancies, that means that people have to pick up the slack, so definitely, a lot of appreciation for all the staff working for the city, having to pick up the slack with vacancies. Really excited about a leadership roundtable for the reasons that Councilmember Adams just mentioned, things like that we can get support from other entities in the community, whether it's ESP, Forest Service, Coast Guards, and having regular meetings where we talk about problems that affect everybody in Cordova. With those leadership individuals, we make a big difference, I think. I think it sounds like just another meeting, but I think at that level, it could make a real difference and cutting things off before they become a real problem. So I think that would be a good thing to reinitiate. And obviously, man, knowing what the problem is by far the best thing when you're running around not knowing what the problem is and you figure it out, it is a big relief. So I know Samantha, you're probably so stoked to see that leak through the video monitors that you guys are doing for diagnostics. So really excited about the potential for us to be on the downslide back up and running. Thank you.
I remembered one thing from, that I meant to include under the mayor's report. I did hear back from a staff person, Senator Murkowski's office, when I wrote about the secure rural schools, and I'm pretty sure she said into that 2020, they were gonna make 2024 and 2025 retroactive.
That's right. I believe.
Yeah, so there's legislation that I think the Senate has adopted and it's in the House, so anybody who wants to call Beggage's office, and if it's okay with you all, I will write a letter for the city to urge that to happen. I think it'd be great to get in touch with Beggage's office and say that would really help us.
Could you share that letter so we can copy and paste,
Sure.
edit and send it to the wetland?
Where is it?
I
You got it, man?
Yeah.
I got an email from Karen Hollins.
Oh, we should verify, I got the same email, and I just wanna make sure that she's not talking about, cause Cheryl, correct, we got forest receipts in 24.
But
Yeah.
the federal year is a different year.
Right, but we
We should have gotten funded in 2024.
did,
Yeah.
we did, so I think she's talking state. Or federal year, so it's 25, 26 they're looking at,
Mhm.
is my under,
Yes,
that's how we interpret that.
very must be under 26, where she's saying, even though it was not in the current state fiscal year of 26, they're looking at going back rather.
Usually 2025.
Retro.
Yeah.
And then moving forward,
And
with,
also
or trying to get 26
But
included.
that's okay, because the only year we missed was 25.
Right, and that would be.
Well, we didn't miss it, we just got cut.
Just that's what I mean.
Yeah. So we will see,
Yeah.
yeah, it's at the house, yeah, there, it's just, as it was described, it was just sitting there waiting for somebody to bring it forward to vote on.
Are you kidding?
Okay, that's.
That wasn't the in the email from.
No, it wasn't, that's me saying.
Well, I actually read it in some part of it, it's just waiting to be
Yeah.
picked up to be voted on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it would still be good information to have if we were going to reach out to our representatives.
To clarify,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, just like.
They don't. No further comments, see a motion?
Executive session.
Mhm. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I would make a motion to move into executive session.
Read number one.
We discuss.
Oh, matters, you need it now.
Yeah, here.
Matters of immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of the government,
Specifically, the letter from,
specifically the email letter regarding the travel.
yes, thank you.
It's been moved, is there a second?
Second.
Motion Hanson and second Adams. So. All those in favor? Of going into executive session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay. Passes. Let's.
Recess.
Recess for 2 minutes, just to clear the room. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
That would be a whole to have the presence of the harbor master.
Oh, yeah.
We can invite.
Susan, we need to invite Tony in.
Sure.
In case there's any technical
Sure.
questions.